Excellent. Cool. So, just had to have you guys back, because we were having so much fun last time you came over, and just had to wring that cloth dry. Well, I don't think we'll do that today, but
the wet towel's not here, so.
Hey, I know what towel it is.
no. You
Sorry,
guys
pal.
have a wet towel?
No, it's Ian Powell, our bass player.
We call him-
just call him Wet Towel Powell.
We
He's
call him the
main
Wet
bass
Towel,
player.
yeah.
That's pretty awesome. I thought you guys had like a wet towel that was came folded into that tail thing for whipping people, and you sell it at a merch booth,
No,
That's an idea.
why is he Wet Towel Powell? Kyle, tell the.
I just did.
Why?
Yeah, because like whenever he talks, or like he's always the naysayer. He's always
Remember,
like,
he's gonna see this.
he's always,
So.
he's always the voice of reason and shit.
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
For better or worse, mostly for the better, almost always for the better. But I always tits him about like, yeah, fucking Wet Towel Powell, man.
It keeps us ground. He keeps us sort of like realistic about things a lot because it's easy to get carried away sometimes and try to
Do you ever find that
lose sight of whatever.
you get like a couple of you trying to do that, or where like everyone's trying to be the realist, and then everybody just kind of ends up not having too many ideas get through,
That's the other. Yeah, that's the other, that can happen too, right?
Yeah.
You gotta have one
That's not
dreamer in
bad,
the group at least, or
Yeah,
like
no,
someone
and
that-
it's definitely good to like be grounded and realistic.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
writing
Powell,
and
Wet
stuff,
Towel
yeah.
Powell is the man who grounds us.
Yes,
always.
yeah.
And, like, it's we need a guy.
And well, I
like that,
think,
man,
and
for sure.
I think we lift him in the air a little bit. He grounds us, and we bring him up. We match.
Yeah.
We come
Oh,
to
there
a
you go.
level.
That's a good way to put
Yeah.
it. So, for people who aren't familiar with you guys, tell us a little about Love Tongues and yourselves.
Well, we are a band of folks, band of gypsies.
Band of folks.
Band of Gypsies is much more accurate.
No, we're
Yeah,
just a
yeah.
band. You know what? We're a bunch of goofs, is what we are. But we're having fun out there, and we're just playing rock and roll music that we,
Yeah,
like to play.
Yeah, we're just like a group of dudes that.
And we
straight up
believe
just
in it. We
love
believe in
rock
it
and
a
roll,
lot.
yeah.
I believe in it.
Mm-hmm.
I trust our instincts pretty good at this point. We're just starting out, so it's still sort of a
It's a new thing.
it's
yeah.
a cloudy area, just like things are still coming out of the,
Yeah, like
the
they're-
smoke, like
Totally.
taking vision.
There's still like a lot of uncharted
being able
territory that we haven't. Like,
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
Cool. It's got to be. I find it's like, it's really got to be like what you're saying. It's got to be a raw expression, like just to be able to entrust your instincts and what you're saying there is really like, I find the ultimate way to like physically allow like the creative chemicals in your brain to be released by like is something that actually happens when you're like open-minded about things and when you're actually passionate and like it's an honest expression of self, and you're really getting what's inside and somehow fucking in a way we don't understand managing to get it out there, like, and it's not even articulated, but it's articulated through the music, and that's so important.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's about kind of being vulnerable too. I think that really there's some vulnerability there. Like if you're not faking it, that if you're just really just letting loose, then there's a
Especially like playing live.
yeah, and it's almost cathartic in a way. Like it really purifies you a little bit, and it's just like an honest expression. This is it,
Honest and unapologetic.
That's
rock
why-
and roll, man.
yeah, yeah,
That's our
like-
calling.
Sex, drugs, and
So I
rock
can-
and roll in that order.
Well, okay. I'm trying to make this not sound so whatever. Yeah,
Classic.
that's part of it too. But those also you got to be vulnerable in those situations too, man.
Exactly.
Every one of those
find
situations
strength
requires
from
like,
vulnerability.
Oh, shit. That's
Yeah.
yeah. That's what that microphone must have been last time.
Oh dear.
I'm a table pounder, I guess. So
that's
I,
okay.
I did it at the beginning too. It was like fuck.
Well, I'll eventually not have to worry about
Sorry,
table
man.
pounding. So
Sorry,
don't be sorry.
Yeah.
Apologize to the poor ears of the poor folks at home.
Yeah. Well, start over. And how is it going, guys?
Yeah. What were we talking about?
Yeah. No, being vulnerable, like, sex, drugs, and rock
Yeah.
and roll all require vulnerability.
Mhm.
Sex, gotta put yourself out there, a little bit of drugs. You gotta be vulnerable,
I find power in vulnerability. A lot of people are really afraid of it because, and it's scary, and it's because it can hurt, but that's really like where you find the power and the important things, and I
Yeah.
find anyways. I like
It's a hard thing.
vulnerability, just tear that bitch right open.
Yeah. Yeah. it's kind of freeing for sure. It's freeing in a way, you know, but it's scary. It's a scary step to take sometimes.
Yeah.
Like that's why people have fear of speaking, public speaking, or things like anything like that, right?
That's yeah. I've always kind of like I've never really had that fear ever. Like I've always been.
I always
like,
got nerves, you know.
I get nerves like
Get
motherfucker.
excited.
Yeah.
But like it's more like it's a lot more just excitement. Like even like just like going back to like being in like elementary school, having to do like presentations in front of the class. I was always just like, all right, let's fucking knock this out of the park.
Yeah,
There
me
you go,
too.
there you go.
Me
Everybody
too.
else is shaking in the back, you know.
Yeah, like speaking super
Someone's-
quiet. I was always the one that just like fucking went for it and like didn't really care.
Gotta have fun with it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like
And
who's
the
not gonna
teachers
these
like
people?
it.
They're like, if I fuck up, I say something stupid, and it's not the end of the world, man. Like shit happens.
They're always saying stupid shit. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Just kidding.
So, I mean, vulnerability is definitely important to push it forward, but I guess you kind of have to like you can't be too transparent, you know. So I've heard that before because I used to just be like, yeah, like just get everything out there and then the shit will resolve itself, you know, as long as if you get it out. But some people are just like, I don't know if like complete transparency is the best thing, and you know, I've thought about that a bit over the years, and it's
Well, what would-
a
yeah,
very
what-
good point.
What would complete transparency be like? That would just be.
Like just no secrets, just everything you do.
No, you
everyone
gotta
can
have
see.
Yeah, have
something.
some mysteries.
Everyone
Yeah,
has
yeah,
to,
yeah,
and
exactly.
everyone does.
Mm-hmm. I find a lot of people actually. I'm probably the crazy one who really goes for a high level of transparency.
Yeah.
But you know, then the you get the vulnerability from that, and it doesn't matter what you do. Somebody can come up in there and tear you apart for it. You know, if you're
There's
on
always
these,
somebody wanting to
if
shit
you're
on
on
you.
one
There's always
side,
gonna be
that
one
means
person,
there's an
at least.
opposing side.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Like,
You can't have the one without the other.
Mhm.
You're right.
I
And that's
mean,
part of it.
It's how we learn, exactly.
Mhm.
It's okay. It's like different styles of music, you know. We don't like certain kinds of music, we like other ones. And how many musicians do you know? And I know a lot, and I do it a lot still myself, is like you don't really write and plan out your things according to what you like, but you just see all this stuff and you don't like that, so then you don't do the stuff you don't like, you know? Instead of necessarily like coming up with really like out there creative stuff, it's just like, well, I know I don't want to do that, so I'm just going to do something, and it's going to be not that. And then whatever it is will probably be something that I like, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
If you avoid the things
Like,
you don't
well, yeah,
like.
like once you funnel out everything, like everything that you don't like in music, like you'll narrow it down a lot. And,
Mhm.
yeah, and then,
Yeah,
then
exactly.
you'll only, yeah, exactly.
You get
So-
really picky about it is the thing then, and then for me anyways, I started to like, that was just how I started defining things in general. How I defined like my approach to life is like, when I don't like things is how I know which direction to go in, you know?
Yeah, like don't.
But then
do
you
that.
get real like pessimistic, you know? Nobody likes that either.
Well,
And if
Start sounding like a
your
wet towel.
response to everything is like, oh, I don't like that, you know, that's just hard to talk about, but
right, but
Yeah.
like, well, okay,
or hard
with
to
music-
talk to that person rather.
yeah, because with music, like you're saying, everyone likes different genres of music, but I'm finding like, I think I thought that I didn't like certain genres, but then I will find things in that genre that if they are done in a like what we're talking about, vulnerable kind of way, transparent way, then that shines through. Like, you know, there's some I prefer some genres over others, but every genre is like I think there's something there that I can find to enjoy.
Yeah,
but I just
kinda-
thought I didn't like it for some reason. You know
Oh,
what I
yeah.
mean? That's the
Totally.
weird
I
part.
can't think of like any genre of music that I can say I like don't like. Maybe pop punk, but like
Yeah, like
I grew up
pop,
listening to like
I
my
really
18
don't
and
like
shit.
Country's
pop.
tough.
There's
I
some
can dig
cool
country.
pop, like
Yeah.
fucking Bruno Mars. I like Bruno Mars.
Yeah, I
He's
guess
cool
there
and shit,
and there is
like-
in every genre, even the ones that I'm like trying to stretch to say that I don't like. You know, there's still things within it that I do.
Yeah, yeah.
know,
It's not
Mhm.
your first.
It's more of a
go-to.
cultural thing than a preference in music, really. But I guess those are pretty synonymous.
Mhm. Yeah, music is like a very cultural thing. I feel
completely,
like.
completely. Just look at Latin music. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I love Latin music, man. I seriously.
So many of those
seriously
dudes
love
just
Latin
fucking
music.
slay.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
yeah. Richard Bona blows my mind. He's I think he's some sort of Afro-Cuban salsa bass player. Just insane. Just I saw him like having a solo duel on stage in one of these videos, and the trumpet player he's going back and forth with, and Rich Bono is like, this trumpet player is really crazy, but like you're not crazier than Richard Bono, right? Like, and so he's just, Rich Bono was kind of leading it, and he would like do the thing, and then the trumpet would call in response, and then he would do a little more, and he would respond a little bit more, but then the trumpet starts kind of like stepping up a little bit and starts trying to challenge him, you know. So then all of a sudden Rich Bono, he looks away and he's like hiding it, and he's just shredding away, and he's giving him this like this stinky face, like he's like, oh yeah, you know, like try that, and then he didn't even. He's like, really, like, what do you want me to do? So that's right. I like trumpet. I really love brass instruments too.
You know, I used to fucking hate brass instruments so much until like I don't know, like I got really into the Cat Empire, and yeah, it just like opened my mind to brass instruments, and like I love them now.
What's the Cat Empire?
Oh, you never heard of the Cat
No,
Empire? Oh man, check them out.
Band?
They're this Australian band. They played the main stage at Folk Fest. They like headlined one of the nights like I think years
Sorry,
ago.
what was it again?
The Cat Empire.
Yeah.
And yeah, like they're fucking so good, and like they're just like the danciest fucking fun. Like it's just fun music, and like there's tons of brass in it, and yeah, like and like it just like it has such a like rich tone. Also, apologies for my super shot voice.
Yeah, man. It's no, I
came out.
I was
doing what
trying
I
to
can.
make like a dick joke, but I just couldn't even go through with it.
Too easy.
Too easy, yeah. I recommend their first album.
I don't mean like an actual dick joke. I just meant something that would have
Like a
been
dicky
like.
joke?
a dickish- Yeah,
I did.
I thought dick joke too.
It's
Yeah,
pretty
I know.
good.
It's the weekend has not been kind to me.
Yeah, I found their website here. Unfortunately, I don't think we can really play any of the things because we'll probably get taken down. But maybe just like a second or two, we could probably play.
Sweet.
But this is their website. I guess they're doing a European tour right now.
Yeah, they're always touring.
They
It
got their
seems.
Facebook group and.
They're like a very busy band.
Yeah.
And they
So,
have like
You said they were. What's the style again? Oh yeah.
It's like Latin, right?
well, I don't know.
I hear
I don't
kind
know
of a
what,
Latin.
like
thing.
yeah,
Influence
they're
for
just
sure.
like really
Just jammy.
yeah, it's very jammy. And they have a bunch
yeah.
of different singers.
Yeah. That's a pretty cool stage setup they got there. Oh, geez, it wasn't even really keeping up on there, hey? But oh well.
No.
The music was still a little bit there. You can still
A
see
little
the
bit.
website.
Not enough to get.
Yeah, that's cool though. They did sound really good.
Yeah, they're fucking awesome.
That's like something that would play at Jazz Fest
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
in town.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys ever go rock Jazz Fest at the Cube on Latin nights?
Yeah. Well,
Latin night's been a little downplayed in the last few years, but
Mhm.
man, when I first started going to Jazz Fest at the Cube on Latin night,
I think last year because Jazz Fest takes place, or at least last year, it took place directly when the X was going on,
oh yeah,
and I was doing sound at the X like every day,
Oh, shit.
so I didn't go to Jazz Fest once, and I was kind of choked because usually every year I get out at least once. This year
Right.
I'm gonna go hard on Jazz
Yeah,
Fest.
yeah.
I think.
yeah,
'Cause
Jazz
it's
Fest is
awesome.
great.
Yeah.
I heard they were having some issues though. I saw some articles saying that there was like some bit of drama happening in the administration for putting together the Jazz Fest or whatever, or just like I think it's just a matter of like their Latin night was one of the most successful and popular things, and they're really like getting away from Latin night, and I think they're not even maybe doing Latin night anymore, and
That's too bad.
and they're really just kind of not putting the emphasis where the demand is.
Mhm.
I think is what I heard was kind of happening. So, but I've always had a great time at the Cube. Anyways, Jazz Fest happens at all kinds of different locations around town for weeks. But
I always go to the Cube.
the Cube it's just so bumping. The first few times I went there, it was just packed as fuck and shoulder to shoulder, and like there's just people salsa everywhere, and like these Latin bands where the leader of the band is the dude who's just on the percussion stand. He's got like 2 wooden blocks, a cowbell, a triangle, and like a tree chime and a güiro, you know, and like a tambourine. And he's just like doing that, and then like conducting the whole band, like, okay, now you come in, and just, but like while he ding 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 ding. You
That's
know?
super cool.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Like
And
the flashiest
Yeah.
conductor ever.
Mhm. And they're just like from Brazil, like they were
Oh,
in
neat.
they were in from Latin America somewhere, I don't know where, but they were definitely not a local band.
South America has like some wildly good musicians.
Mm.
Like
Where?
there's South America. Like,
Oh,
I
South
feel like-
America.
yeah, like
Oh,
all.
yeah,
like what
that's
you're saying. Like
that
all this
culture.
fucking awesome
Oh,
Latin. Like yeah, it's
so
fucking
good.
sweet. Like none of them are like, a lot of them aren't like famous or anything. Maybe they're famous in South America like, or whatever, but like I couldn't tell you like a single one's name, but like you see like just like look up like street band in Brazil.
Yeah,
or, like,
exactly.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, there's a really crazy no, I think Cuban. No, not Cuban, but not Cuba, but somewhere like that from South America. I can never remember shit. Where is it? The place has bad reputation, but it's not that cool. Colombia.
Oh, I was gonna say,
but it's pretty cool. Colombia.
It has a bad reputation, but it's pretty fun.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's this band from Colombia called Compasses, and they like. There's this YouTube video where they dress, and they're in like white suits, and they got the crazy hats, and there's like an electric bass player, an acoustic harp player, a little tiny like a piccolo guitar, acoustic guitar, and he's only strumming, no leads, and then the maraca player standing up, everybody else sitting down. The maraca player is obviously the leader of the band, you know, and he's doing like the craziest, most wild, intricate maraca shit. I didn't know you could play
Right?
maracas like
Maracas
that.
are crazy when you, like, you see
intense.
someone that can like really play them. And it's like, what?
And like, how are you doing that? Like,
Yeah.
it's nuts. They get like really razor sharp fucking rhythms. Like, it's nuts. I wish I could fucking
Mariachi
play some.
Ghost has,
Oh, yeah, Mariachi
so,
Ghost.
it's not maracas. They have like a I don't know what it's called, like, but it's kind of like a giant maraca that he like shakes with two hands, kind of.
Oh yeah, and it's like wrapped in that bead sheet thing. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But, Mariachi Ghost is dope.
All
those percussion guys in it, like everyone in that band is just so fucking talented.
I really like Weiros.
Oh, those are cool. Yeah.
Yeah, do you know? It's actually really hard to kind of the motion, you know, like the.
Sounds so cool.
We actually just put that on APHELION's new album, but it's a tricky motion because it's kind of like with your strumming, how you want to keep strumming consistent. A lot of times, people, or depending on your approach, some people do that, and then you end up like waving your hand when you're but not hitting the strings. You know, sometimes. Yeah. And you'll just do that kind of ghost stroke, but you don't do it. You got to do one of those in this. You know, you got to go. It's like because you got a short rake and a long rake. You go short, long, short, long. But it's also up, down, up, down, up, down, up, right? So you got to do that ghost downstroke.
Yeah.
It's fucking. It took like I had to do that like at 1 beat per minute before I could really do it.
These holes are just for holding it.
I think so, yeah. Or sound holes. You can also do it. You can. You can hold it every which way you think. I don't think there's a right or wrong way to do it. Everybody does.
Oh yeah, I guess there's also a fucking handle.
Yeah, I think that's probably it.
Yeah. Apparently these submarine looking ones are for kids, but it's okay. They're dope as fuck. When I was getting into Latin music, there's a collection called the Putumayo World Music Collection, and they just have like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of world music and like hundreds and hundreds of albums from like there's rarely an English speaker on there, you know. And I love listening to music in other languages too. And they had African, all these different African dialects, and they had Portuguese and Spanish, and Spanish is really different depending on like where you are in the world. Apparently, even like northern Spain to southern Spain, they don't understand each other in certain things.
My drummer from the Human Creatures,
Manuel, yeah,
he's from Argentina, and he's told me that before too. Every different country in South America speaks the Spanish speaking ones. They all fucking sound different.
Yeah, it's a different kind of Spanish.
Like different slangs, and it's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, just kind of probably just like the states now, like a lot of different states in the U.S. have different accents and shit. To me, they all
totally.
Sound the same.
That's so funny how like Canada doesn't really have that. Hey, there's maybe a subtle Winnipegger accent or a Calgarian accent
too.
There's a huge that's a good point. There's a huge Eastern accent.
Yeah,
Newfoundlanders are bad. Yeah. Something about a dog. I don't know. You and Andrew got a list of. I know Andrew has a list of Newfie slangs, you know.
She's gone bad.
Yeah. The bite. That's the one.
Yeah, that's his personal favorite on it. Again, I despite growing up my whole life in Winnipeg, I used to work kind of customer I worked at Shell and shit, so I'd talk to people all day, customers and shit, and often like probably once a week for like a year. Somebody would be like, "Where are you from? You have like a crazy accent." Just be like, "I'm from fucking here, man."
Mhm,
Like, what?
mhm.
As if like.
Oh
you have this,
yeah, I
like,
remember one guy
strange
thought you had a
accent.
British accent,
Yeah,
didn't he?
yeah. You went
It's
around,
real English.
like, yeah, it's weird. I think I just
And you were
maybe-
talking normally though.
Yeah,
That's
like,
the
like
thing.
how I always talk. I think
Yeah.
maybe I just have like a stoner accent. But, like,
I definitely did have one of those. I remember the first time when I was traveling. I was in Denmark, and I was like
cool.
trying to explain to a lady there that I met like how to pronounce something. I think we were there for a meditation seminar, and I think it was like one of these Sanskrit words we were trying to go out. And it was a sound, and I was saying it's like ah or whatever, and she kind of wasn't getting it. And then this other dude from Switzerland just all of a sudden, maybe it's because of your accent. And I was just like, oh.
It's like like you grow up in your country. You're
Yeah,
always in your
yeah,
country,
right?
And like you don't think of like having an accent.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. That's exactly it. I found this this crazy Latin band. Hopefully, I can get away with playing a little bit of it on here, just to see how crazy these maraca players can really get. Cause, like, damn.
Well, I feel bands aren't gonna get choked that we're giving them DAP on your.
No,
podcast.
but
So,
it's
yeah,
like
licensing
if I'm
and
playing a
all that
YouTube
shit,
video,
yeah.
then I'm gonna get the view as opposed to their profile, which could get the view. You know, like this wouldn't count for their profile. You should
Hopefully
go
this
check
will lead
that
to
out.
more views on there.
Yeah, exactly.
Who
This
knows?
is Compass's Major Conuto Junto Festival, San Martin
Mejor
de los
conjunto festival San Martín de
Llanos,
los Llanos.
2013.
Yeah.
That was. You want to do that again?
Vasquez Mejor Conjunto Festival San Martín de los Llanos.
Thank you.
I think.
Yeah, 2013.
3 years of Spanish in high school.
There you go. There you go. Listen to this fucking maraca player for a second. And all those melodies you hear is the harp.
Well, I was gonna say, fucking.
That's
the
a
harp,
beautiful
That's
instrument.
gotta be the goddamn hardest instrument to play. I feel. Maybe I'm wrong. But
I think it really depends, like how the instrumentation is done up. Like, okay, is a harp done up chromatically or diatonically, or is it in an arpeggio?
I think.
I think you could get either one of those.
Can.
You could probably string it any way you wanted to,
I guess so.
right?
I don't know.
I guess, yeah.
I feel like chromatic would be easier.
Well, I always thought they were just chromatic.
Yeah.
But-
If diatonic would be hard, but if you
I thought they were kind
it's
of
probably
just
laid out
more
like a piano.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
It would be interesting if it was laid out like for a jazz approach, because jazz players think of scales in the arpeggios, right? Like it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 16.
Oh.
You know, and then that makes the scale. Because if you stack thirds to make your arpeggio, you don't have all the notes in one octave.
okay,
But if you do it in
yeah.
2 full octaves in thirds, you get every note in the scale, right? So if it was laid out in that way, it'd be a really deadly like approach for like jazz solos and things.
That's fucking. It's
And it'd be
interesting.
colorful as fuck. But yeah, the maraca.
I feel like the harp though is also probably made to be like tuned the way that it is tuned, like
Mhm.
with
It
all
looks
that tension.
diatonic, yeah,
like-
all those finger
Look at his
picks.
hands,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
crazy.
Well, those are finger picks, not fingernails. I think.
On the tips of his fingers?
It might just be him doing
Or is that
finger
just
strumming.
fingers?
The bass player's really crazy, slap bassing, and the fucking guy. I can't play much more of this, but man, check out this Compass's band. Like seriously, this
Also-
video. You gotta find this video on YouTube. It'll blow you.
Fucking the right hand technique on guitar players.
Yeah.
Like this is always blows my mind. Like it's
Yeah,
so
that
fucking,
strumming.
Like, yeah, and they are so aggressive
Mhm,
too.
mhm.
What's that band like Claudia and you know what I'm talking about? Like this.
Oh,
it's like brother,
it's
sister,
something Gabrielle
Gabrielle and
Iglesias or something like that. Gabriella E Enrico. Or,
yeah, it's like a brother and sister.
Yeah,
I
they're
think.
really good.
They're-
I think
they blow my
Gabriella
mind.
is the thing,
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking Claudia.
and E with the thing, and yeah, they're really good. I love Latin music. Yeah, I have this Putumayo collection, like I was saying. Super crazy because they just have so much stuff, and then I just jammed that all day, and it's like put it on random, and you're just getting half of it is like kind of club beats. Like a lot of the Asian stuff is like really like urban sounding, you know, but a lot of the other stuff is like really Latin sounding. I think it's basically just pop music everywhere except the westernized like world where pop music sucks where we live. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why that was happening, but where are we on here?
Probably at 20 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, why don't we take a break? We're gonna go eat some fucking barbecue, and then we're gonna come back and do some more hanging out and,
Music to
and
my
talking
ears,
and
man.
stuff. Yeah. Cool.
Let's do it.
All right. Okay. See you guys in a bit.
You know, I'm not on my A game today, but
Don't worry. So yeah, fucking Into the Badlands season 3 comes out tonight.
looks pretty good.
Yeah, it looks pretty hype. We were just checking that out a little bit.
Sorry.
Yeah, you were just bringing up an interesting point about that.
Was I?
I felt like it was, but yeah,
No,
I'm
just
having that same same issue.
Well,
Well, Kyle was saying. What were
Yeah.
you saying?
what I was just talking about
Oh,
was
he's got a hot dog. But...
I asked you if they explained like how they get to that post-apocalyptic
Yeah.
like if they explained the backstory, and you said no, and I said that's always the thing with
Mhm.
post-apocalyptic like fucking stories. It's always so vague on how they got there.
Right.
Mhm.
But, like, yeah, you are right. It doesn't necessarily matter, but that's always the thing that irks me. It's just like, man, like
You want a
Well-
little backstory. You gotta know
well, it
where they
makes the story
came
more
from if you're gonna
believable,
get invested.
Yeah. Like often they're just like there was a plague, there was a nuclear war, and like it's always like
The
just,
doom.
like,
Mhm.
yeah,
Doom.
like
The apes created a disease. that fucking-
why
Right.
would the apes?
does have
They
a pretty
explains
good.
it. They
It does
fucking-
explain it.
they
Right in that
explain it.
opening scene,
That
they
one whole movie
Yeah.
explains it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. And then even in the opening of the next ones, they open it with like the world map, and they're like, "Oh, it started here," but then they give you like the disease
All
like
the-
spread
yeah.
across the world, and they actually give you the
that
play-by-play.
was cool. Yeah.
But yeah, no, Into the Badlands, it starts in this world that was like after the fall of modern society. So it's like, so there's like remainders, there's like motorcycles and shit. But I guess these 12 barons like segregated the land into 12, I don't know what you call them, barondums.
Fiefdoms,
Yeah.
fiefdoms, or whatever.
And then the biggest leader guy that we were just watching, Quinn, has 2 of them. He's the most powerful
Oh,
baron,
cool.
and he has the most powerful clipper. Sonny, the main character, is like they have cogs and they have clippers, right? All the barons. There's barons, cogs, and clippers. Barons is the leader. The clippers are the fighters and the soldiers.
That's very
And
Attack on Titan.
Yeah, and the cogs are like the workers. So the one guys and all the barons have like agreed on their industry, right? So the one like they sell fucking opioids and shit. So the one has the poppy fields, and his cogs
Nice.
are cutting open the poppies. And then the other one, they ship it to her, and she's doing all like the processing of it into the actual. But they don't really get into that. It's more of a kung fu show. Yeah, and then so Sonny is also Regent. Now Regent is the top clipper, right? He's like the number one assassin of all the soldiers. He's the right hand man to the Baron, and Sonny's the best one who's ever lived. They have all these kill mark tattoos. They tally up in tattoos on all their kills, and Sonny's at like
Killmonger
700.
style?
Yeah, he's at like 700. Sonny, I think. But then he's
Run out of
in the
room.
beginning of the show. We see him begin to undergo his moral revelation. And he's just not going to be some brutal killer. But yeah, I'm excited for the season 3 coming out tonight because
Season 3. So
Shit's
that's what I was
hype.
gonna say. They might explain what happens because it's
I
only
hope
season
so.
3, man. There's still time for them to.
there's also like
explain it.
current events though that are happening, you know. So I hope we get some flashbacks.
I've always thought it's like somewhat lazy storytelling if you don't have like
If it's a loop, if
The
there's a
origin
loophole
story.
that's left out,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like,
Game
like
of
some
Thrones,
kind
there's
of
like so much history that has
Yeah.
never been in the books.
That's
like,
true.
Like yeah, and that's why it's such a good story.
because of all that
Like, even
lore.
like
There's
Lord of the Rings,
8,000
same
years
thing,
worth
like,
of
yeah.
fucking like history, and like Lord of the Rings is the best example because like all of the if you've ever seen a map. Like the one that's in the beginning of the Silmarillion with the horseshoe. And you see that like the entire land of the gods is just the other side of the island. I mean, it's actually protected by magic, so you really can't get there. But it's just the other side of the horseshoe-shaped island. And Middle Earth, all of it, like everything in Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, all is like if the oh fuck. Tiny. It's like 2% of the map.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
All of the events is like a tiny little fucking dime-sized thing on that map, you know, like.
I
Everywhere.
wonder, do you think J.R.R. Tolkien had like plans to write like more shit before he died and like just
Sure,
didn't
I'm sure.
When
end
did
up
he
having-
die? I don't even know like that dude's life.
I
think he had books.
I
He
feel
had
like
notes.
did he die in our lifetime?
I feel like it was probably like in the 60s or something. I don't know. I'm guessing. Let's look that one up.
Yeah, we have
Jamie.
we have
Jamie.
the power.
Wait, we don't have a Jamie. Anybody who likes the good old powerful JRE. Okay, what was I gonna look up?
J.R.R. Tolkien's lifespan.
Yeah. When did
When he
J.R.R.
died, yeah.
Tolkien live? Yeah.
But yes, he did have notes. Like, so obviously he had plans. He had notes and things like that. More
Yeah,
extensive.
right? Like,
Well, the
To keep
Silmarillion
writing.
in itself is a good example.
Mhm.
Yeah.
'Cause that's just the history and the lore.
Yeah.
You ever actually gotten into that? I haven't, but I have a buddy who
I
reads a
read
lot
it.
who like told it to me.
I read it, like,
It's super cool.
I read it when, like, Lord of the Rings was coming out.
Right,
like,
right.
Like, so probably, like,
Yeah.
15 years ago or whatever when I was
Yeah.
a kid. So I remember a ton of it, but, man, he looks like Hitler. Holy shit.
Oh wow. Yeah, he looks exactly like Hitler. You guys got to see this. He doesn't even actually have like a Hitler mustache, but it's more
But,
like
like,
the
god damn,
jacket.
that guy looks like Hitler.
Not really. The
This
mustache.
is Tolkien. That can't be like a good
He doesn't look like Tolkien.
shot.
though. No.
Like they could have chosen a better picture of
That's him
him.
as when he was 24.
in his youth.
Wow.
He's healthy.
In
Yeah, he died in
1916
73.
though, so this was before Hitler.
And he died in
This
1970.
Okay,
this
so-
picture is
So
when
Hitler
he's
looks like
24 in
Tolkien.
1960.
There we go.
Well, I guess it was probably just common fashion back then, and now it's taboo because that's how Hitler dressed. But before Hitler, everybody did. Jesus.
Well, there's Charlie Chaplin, too, I guess.
Well, yeah. He was like in the 20s, was he not?
He was before Hitler.
Yeah.
But had the same mustache.
Suppose notable
That's
works.
probably where Hitler got it.
blah, blah, blah.
Hitler was Charlie
Oh, yeah.
Chaplin's
And then there's
biggest
also the
fan.
unfinished tales. It says he has.
I've read that, yeah. That's another one that I've read.
Died September 2nd, 1973.
Yeah.
At age 81, he died.
I honestly found the Silmarillion and the Unfinished Tales like a little dull to read.
Yeah, those are probably just like
and
his
there's, like-
cliff notes that he just never
there's, like-
finished. You know.
There's like even in like the original like Fellowship of the Ring, there's some like have you read the books?
No.
Okay, there's this
I don't
character.
read as
have
much.
you read Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
I
Tom
tried.
Bombadil?
Or actually, I've read the first 2 books.
So you've encountered Tom Bombadil, like I think Merry and
Probably.
Pippin have to go through. I think it's before they split up from Frodo and Sam. They have to go through like this forest, and I don't really remember it that much, but like it's like fucking. It's got to be like fucking like 60 pages of them just fucking dealing with this. He's been voted as the most annoying character
Oh.
ever created in literature, and it's like I had to like fucking really work to get through it. Like,
Maybe that's where I
was like,
stopped.
man, like this sucks.
So
And,
why,
like,
why do you think he
that guy
included
was
something
not
like
in the
that?
movies
Like, do you
at
think
all.
he liked the character? Do you think it was a troll? Do you think it's like some sort of plot device to make the other parts more intriguing because he sucks? Or
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm
Yeah,
not
I wonder
sure.
why. Because the authors are full of those type of techniques.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
That. Yeah.
Like especially great authors, which he
Yeah.
obviously was. He wrote fucking
Oh,
Lord
of
the
course.
Rings.
You talk to George R. Well, you don't talk to him, but you see in interviews George R. Martin is talking, and they ask him like, who are his big? And first one, he's like, oh well, obviously Tolkien. Like you start there. Like if you haven't read Lord of the Rings, you need to go do that. You know. And then he goes on to list some other guys.
I've always considered like a Song of Ice and Fire kind of like Lord of the Rings for grown-ups.
Exactly.
Like-
Yeah, I think
like
that's
realistic
largely
Lord of
what
the
it's
Rings,
it's
yeah.
portrayed as, especially with all the vulgar nature of all the swearing and
Yeah,
the
like, it's way more
sexual
human.
shit and
Like-
yeah, totally, it's real.
Yeah,
I mean
like,
that's shit that we
and
all
the heroes
do and
die,
relate to
and
every
like
day.
they die like
It's
not
weird, though.
gloriously. Like
No, they
die,
get betrayed by their men and fucking murdered.
like
in the
die in
middle
a
of the night,
fucking
like-
ditch kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
Like no glory at
Yeah.
all.
And that's
And
what makes
that's-
the story so
that's
compelling
fucking
because it's
real
fucking
life,
real.
yeah.
I love it. That's great fucking storytelling.
Agreed.
Yeah.
People kind of like. I don't know, it also makes it so much less predictable. Because
Mhm.
like nobody's safe, and you never know like who's gonna
Yeah.
die and shit.
Yeah, and I mean, like, when shit goes down in real life, like crazy shit, you're like, man, like the fantasy epics are only imitation of that. Because shit goes down in real life, you're like, man, you couldn't come up with that shit. Like, there's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
some fucking freaky shit that happens, you know? But yeah, I got to get more into reading the fantasy stuff. Most of my reading's just been like theory books and fucking spirituality books and stuff like that.
Oh, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, George R. R. Martin was also like a huge Marvel fan.
Oh, killer.
They've he like at the end of comics they often have like the fans asking them questions, and like
Mhm.
they'll select a handful every issue and like publish them and answer the questions in the back of the comic. George R. R. Martin wrote them in like I think it was like the late 1960s, early 1970s, and yeah, like got published in the book. And, like that's been referenced before. Like man, as if like this guy's been a nerd his whole
Yeah.
life.
And that's the thing. I'm pretty sure the first Game of Thrones book came out the year I was born, in 1990.
3
Was it?
or 1 or something?
Yeah, I feel like it was maybe
It was
1.
around there,
So it was
yeah.
right around there. Okay, maybe it wasn't the year I was born, but
My money's on 1993.
and
I
they
think
were like
90
they
maybe.
were. I feel like it was 91. I don't know.
It was pretty close.
That sounds right too. I'm not sure.
It might have been like he wrote it in 91, but like it came out in 93 or something like that. But he really like labored on Game of Thrones for decades, like before he got any notoriety for it.
You can't
Like, he
rush
didn't
art.
even really get famous until the show. I mean, like he was probably famous within like the fantasy novel circuit, but I mean, like nothing
Well, I mean,
compared to when it becomes the most
He was
popular
famous
show on
enough
TV.
for HBO
like-
to be like, we're gonna make a
Exactly.
huge budget show
Mhm.
on this, and like,
Yeah.
and man, good call, whoever decided to make
exactly.
it a show. Like,
I'm excited to see. I think they should do the Wheel of Time like once Game of Thrones is over, because there's going to be that big hole on network TV.
That's like when
HBO
Breaking
is
Bad
gonna be
ended,
looking
too.
at-
It was
exactly,
like,
yeah.
Man, what do I do? With
Well, that's
my
even
life?
slightly right around when Game of Thrones came in. If,
Yeah.
if it,
You're,
if I'm
you're
not
correct. I
mistaken,
think
yeah.
season 5 and season 1 might have overlapped for Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones. So yeah, right around the same
Cool. I'm just looking up weird, nerdy pictures. But
time.
this new Google layout is so weird, where you can't just like see the picture. You gotta like visit the website. Or,
I don't like that.
Yeah, it's kind of strange. Some neat artwork. Oh, very Asian.
Yeah, just a bit.
That's totally. I'm pretty sure that's like Japanese culture, but I
Nice.
mean, those kanjis would be a giveaway, but I don't fucking know. I think Japanese kanjis are a lot simpler than Chinese.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that
But
that
wow,
right there
it's
said.
gone. Sorry.
No worries, no worries.
What did it say though?
Oh, I was just gonna make a dumb joke.
Oh.
Death to America.
Yeah. Jeez. I've always been into Marvel and stuff too. Even like I've actually never like had very many comics, but it was just always like friends and my family and uncles and shit were always into it when I was a kid. Used to always hear the stories. Oh, I used to have a garbage bag full of comic books, and then my mom threw them out, and they would have been worth so much now.
See?
But you know,
I had 2 uncles and my dad a little bit, but mostly my 2 uncles. They had boxes like those comic book.
Mhm.
They
Yeah,
had,
the boxes, yeah.
They had like 20 of those of like old school 60s, 70s Marvel
Mm.
comics, and they never got thrown out. So when I would go to my grandpa's in the country, like when I was a kid, he had like a little kind of like in the cellar there was like a little tiny room, but it was like all comic book boxes.
Yeah,
And, like
yeah.
and just take a comic book box out and like just read old school. That's what got me like hooked on like being a Marvel fanboy for life. And
Yeah.
also we grew up with the 90s X-Men and Spider-Man.
yeah,
cartoons.
this X-Men and Spider-Man, like
Those-
Silver Surfer was even in
Those
there,
are the
and
best
so
fucking cartoons ever.
And
And like fucking Joe Perry did the theme song for Spider-Man.
yeah, that
and
Spider-Man
yeah,
theme
X-Men.
song was
The X-Men had the best theme
Yeah.
song.
the best theme song's got to be not the '90s one, but the original, like the '60s Spider-Man, like that classic fucking
Like does whatever
Spider-Man,
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Like
I
that one.
loved it in Homecoming on like the opening credits.
Yeah.
How they had the big symphony doing
Mhm,
like
mhm.
the old school theme. Yeah, that was so.
Because
cool.
that's just it's tied to the brand now. You can't do Spider-Man without that melody.
Also, I fucking loved the soundtrack to Homecoming. Like it opens with I think "Can't You Hear Me Knocking" by the Rolling Stones.
Oh,
Have you seen Homecoming?
I have. I love it, but I wasn't paying attention too much to the album. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
That album got me into
Oh.
funk almost.
I bet.
When that album came out and somebody was just like, hey, like, I think that album won some awards for just being like a really good collection of songs.
I was like this close to buying it on vinyl
Mhm.
not too long ago.
and then,
And I bought like a Black Sabbath record or something instead.
yeah, there you go. But no, that I got into the Guardians of the Galaxy album, and like Come and Get Your Love got me, and fucking Fooled Around and Fell in Love fucking got me. I love that fucking song.
Is it "Coming at Your Love" is the opening song where like Star Wars like fucking
yeah, the one where he's
starting to-
dancing. Yeah,
it's so
Come and
good.
Get Your Love. Really
Last time
cool
I-
bass line, you know.
Last time I watched Guardians of the Galaxy, I thought like
Seen it
Man.
like 30 times.
it's interesting.
least.
Like what's the actor's name again?
Chris Pratt.
Yeah, Chris Pratt. Like imagine. Because like he obviously wasn't in a cave doing that. He was like in front of a green screen. You know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, right.
like, having a,
yeah,
like-
just dancing away.
I feel like that is like an underrated skill that like the actor, like
Mhm.
most actors have. Like
Mhm.
so a lot of that shit, they're like, like you've seen
I'll show you something that'll
like
point
Game of
your-
Thrones, like
illustrate
Daenerys,
that.
like
Yeah.
talking to a guy with a tennis ball on a stick, pretending to be like the dragon or whatever. Like, or there'll be a guy with like a dragon
all
head
the
on a
motion
stick
capture
and
stuff.
Yeah.
In Thor Ragnarok, Hela, have you seen what she actually looked like when she was filming, like her motion capture suit?
No.
It must have been really hard to like stay in character, but I guess that's why they get paid the fucking big bucks, is because they can do that shit. But yeah, no, she doesn't like. They're just wearing this ridiculous thing, right? Like that's actually what she had to wear while filming in the thing. You know, that's weird. That's a video, and I was doing a picture search, but
I saw a behind the scenes thing of
see,
the new Avengers
that.
movie that's coming out.
Oh, yeah.
It was
That's coming out like right away, like
Thursday,
next week,
yeah, I'm gonna see
Thursday.
it Thursday,
Fuck.
yeah.
Is that the midnight screening?
I'm going to see it at 7 p.m.
You know, the Avengers one. This one is based off of Infinity and Thanos and the Thanos quest.
Yeah.
Like the Infinity, not Infinity Gauntlet, but Infinity.
Yeah, because like Infinity Gauntlet's like
That'll be the next one. Part
I
2
think so.
will be Infinity Gauntlet, where they actually fight him after he has the gauntlet. But this one that's coming out is going to be him collecting the gauntlet, which was Thanos' quest, and then him also like coming to Earth and challenging them with the Black Cabal, which is Infinity, which is really cool because that was fucking stellar, amazing storyline. But that is also what leads into Secret Wars 2015, which is the end of the multiverse. Where that's where one of the
I've
Earths.
never read that actually yet.
It's super amazing. I haven't read it, but I go on this YouTuber, Comics Explained. Rob, check him out, people, because he's really awesome. And his Secret Wars 2015, basically, one of the Earths in one of the multiverses gets destroyed, and it creates a chain reaction of the next two that fall into each other, and they crash, and they get destroyed. So all of the Earths in all of the universes in the multiverse have been destroyed, except for the last two, and one of them's ours. And it picks up like with
616. Right?
Yeah, 616, and it picks up with Thanos' Cabal getting to Earth at the same time as Black Panther and his troop in Wakanda see an Earth like in the sky about to crash into Earth, like another Earth, right? And then they have to like, I think they use the Ultimate Nullifier, which is the most powerful weapon in the MCU or in the Marvel comics.
Universe,
Yeah.
They're just spoiling the
But-
movie.
Well, this is a comic thing, and this I think if they did Secret Wars 15 would have to be like in the future. They could be setting up Secret Wars 15, and if they did that would be fucking ridiculous.
Doing a Secret Wars kind of thing
Because
after
the
these
thing
ones.
is so intense, like because what ends up happening is ours gets destroyed. They take the Infinity Gauntlet, but it only works in their own universes. So like there's the Council of Reeds, which is every Reed Richards from every universe basically creates
Basically
an
the Citadel of
inter-universal Illuminati made up of one dude.
That's bit
and
straight up Citadel bricks.
Yeah, exactly. And then they all have the Infinity Gauntlets from each of their respective universes, but they're hosting their meetings like in this nether between the universes, and the gauntlets only affect their own universe, so they're all useless now. And so the last and at the same time as all this is happening, the Beyonders are going around the universe destroying everything. And the Beyonders are the people who created the multiverse.
Yeah.
And their reputation is when they show up, you get erased. You know, he's like Beerus.
It's cool
but
how
worse.
Marvel's like starting with Guardians of the Galaxy is starting to delve more into like the cosmic stuff,
Totally.
which has never been my favorite Marvel shit, but like it's cool. It's like part of it, and like
Yeah.
I like
For Infinity Gauntlet, you gotta have it. 'Cause
Yeah, I like the
Celestials
space
are
shit,
in it.
but
and,
like I don't like. I like when my characters that I read go to space, like when Spider-Man, like all that shit.
yeah.
Also, I'm stoked to see Thanos throw a fucking moon at the Avengers. That's gonna be cool.
What's that big like guy? Galactica? Or
Galactus.
something?
Galactus.
Galactus. Is he
They-
gonna make
the
an
planet
I was
appearance?
actually just thinking about him because
Well, they got Fantastic Four rights back now. so they
Exactly,
can do
and
that,
Galactus
they can
and
do
Silver
Dr.
Surfer.
Doom properly. they
Dr.
can do-
Doom, yeah.
Silver Surfer, I thought they did do properly. in
He
the
was pretty
original
cool,
one.
yeah.
He was cool. Fucking what's his-
Galactus was atrocious, but
Well, because they never really showed him. He was like,
no, he was a cloud. They did a vague
They had a silhouette.
and even that was like arguable.
I got
Oh,
like
they did that in the movie?
But so unrecognizable because
which one?
Galactus is like a giant
Fantastic
dude
Four
in
movie.
Did
the
they?
Rise of the Silver Surfer. That big
yeah.
cloud that was coming to eat the planet, that was Galactus.
Oh, that's-
People hated it because
yeah.
Galactus is a big dude in
Yeah.
a pink and purple fucking
Purple,
suit
yeah.
with the helmet.
Yeah.
But in the Infinity Gauntlet storyline, Adam Warlock creates who we see getting created at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
post-credit scene.
Yeah, post-credit scene.
I'll
You see
name him
Warlock,
Adam,
which
or
is great because
whatever,
he's
yeah.
the one who organizes the human level response against Thanos. But like just as a delay, like just to stall him, because he knows that he could just like blink and delete you all if he wanted. Like
Snap his
you-
fingers. That was the cool thing on that trailer
Mhm.
when Gamora was saying like
he just
if
could
he
snap
gets
his
everything,
fingers.
he
Yeah,
can snap his fingers. And, like there's that.
because that's what it does
that
in the comics.
famous
He
panel
literally.
where he snaps and half the
50%.
universe dies.
So I think that's where this Avengers is going to end. I think a lot of people think that's going to be like
If
the
it
last
ended
scene of the movie with the snap.
Oh man,
Would
that'd
be
be like
epic.
I'd get goosebumps.
I would get.
Like-
I would fucking. Yeah. I wouldn't even be able to explain it. Like I would be beside myself.
Yeah, I wonder what the after credit scene will be.
Yeah,
like.
right?
Or like they'll
Hopefully
probably
introducing some new characters, or maybe the Celestials. That's actually what I was getting
That'd
at,
be cool.
right?
Well,
Because
they
the entire.
built on them in Guardians of the Galaxy. They
Yeah.
showed the one that was like
Oh yeah.
destroying that planet.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
also delved on like Nowhere, like that.
Yeah. The one
the
that
head-
was the head of an
that's
old
a planet
Celestial.
that
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think the Collector lives on,
Mhm.
right?
No, that's that lawless place. Oh no, I don't know if the Collector lives there, but that's where they went to go meet the Collector's
Yeah,
ambassador.
yeah.
At least, maybe he lives there.
No, he does because
Yeah,
he had
yeah.
that collection because it blew up and then the
Oh,
after
yeah, and then
credit
they
scene was
left.
him with
That's
Howard
right,
the
that's
Duck
right.
and the fucking I forget the dog's name that he's part of Guardians of the Galaxy and he's
That
the
dog with
telekinetic dog
Oh,
that as that it's in
The
the
telekinetic dog. Are you kidding me?
and he wears a spacesuit.
yeah.
That's awesome.
And he has the little head
Yeah,
bubble. Yeah.
yeah.
And then there's the Inhuman dog, the teleporting Inhuman dog.
Man,
remember his
I'm
name.
dropping the ball on names so hard today.
There's so many
Maybe
names.
the drinks and not
Probably
helping
an
or whatever,
alliteration.
but,
Well,
like,
have some more.
yeah, have some more drinks. And we'll be able to remember all the names.
exactly.
But yeah, that's that teleporting dog. He's badass. Fucking Black Bolt is also like
Black Bolt's
the Inhumans are
legendary.
dope, yeah.
That's another thing because the Inhumans movie's coming out, and in the Infinity
I
timeline
know
in the
it's not
comics,
coming out anymore because they decided to make it a TV series and it bombed.
I thought it was the opposite because on
Oh,
because they had
hope it's the
always
opposite then.
they had from the beginning of all the Netflix shows planned to make Inhumans a Netflix show, and then they canceled that, and now it's going to be a movie, I think.
Well, they did.
But
the
maybe
first
it's just
season
gonna be like a
of-
teach-
They did the first season of the Inhumans and it like bombed hard.
They
Yeah.
didn't do it because
Yeah,
they
they
just
did.
had a lot of the Inhumans in Marvel's Agents of Shield for a
Yeah,
couple
it's kinda
seasons.
like
they were dealing with
led
the
up to it.
Inhumans.
No, there's season 1 of
Oh,
Marvel's The Inhumans.
I didn't realize that.
The first 2 episodes premiered in theaters, and like people hated it. It's like the only flop Marvel's ever
Mhm.
done.
Weird.
Uh,
Because they actually have like Black Bolt and the dog, and also Black Bolt's younger brother, who's like an on and off bad guy, played by Ramsey.
that's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say. Yeah, that's
That one.
this show.
Weird.
Yeah,
You sure it's a series?
positive.
Huh.
Yeah.
Have you? Okay. On that note, have you seen Legion?
Love it.
Yeah,
That's
I haven't
one of my
seen it all,
favorite
but I saw the
superhero
last
shows
couple
ever.
episodes of it,
Wow.
and then I meant to get into it a bit more.
Like season 2 you've seen, or
No, well,
okay.
the one the first thing I saw was the last 2 episodes of one of the seasons, and he was like having a crazy breakdown to where he was creating like a zombie illusion for
Yeah.
everybody. He was creating an illusion where like the world was a zombie apocalypse for everybody, and everybody was like fighting. But then they would like this girl had like this pair of glasses that she could wear that would make her not be affected. She would see through
Yeah,
the
yeah,
zombie
yeah.
illusion, you know. So she sees people over here like fighting zombies, and then puts on the glasses and just sees them like punching thin air.
Legion.
you know?
Legion is dope, and
Yeah,
I have like
Professor
the
X's
biggest crush on Aubrey Plaza
Oh.
ever, and like she's in it, and like she's
Which one's that?
she's
I don't know who that
like.
is by name.
Have you ever watched Parks and Rec?
Occasionally, yeah.
You know that super apathetic girl, like April? She's like the useless assistant. She works for Ron.
Is she kind of like one of those is that Two Broke Girls? Is it like one
No.
of those kind of girls?
He watched Scott Pilgrim.
I don't know it super well, but I have.
Just
Yeah.
look her up. Look her up. She's fucking
Right. What's her name?
Aubrey Plaza.
Right.
Uh,
She might be the chick from that Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. Just watched that for the first time. It's pretty funny. Plaza, yeah. Have you seen that one?
I don't think so.
Oh, it is. It is this one.
It is
yeah.
her. Okay.
It
Yeah.
is her from Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. Yeah, she's pretty smoking, and she always plays that.
Apathetic,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, totally.
hates
Just,
everything.
yeah, totally.
But in Legion, she plays just like a fucking
I didn't realize she was
psychopath.
in Legion.
Yeah, she's like not her typical character in Legion at all. It turns out she's a really good actress.
Oh yeah.
Like yeah, she kills it in Legion.
It's funny about actors and how they get typecast as the role they play, but really they're good actors. Like I was watching an interview with Matt LeBlanc, who played Joey.
Yeah.
And he's old now, right? He's like
He has great
almost
hair. It's
he's
weird,
like almost
yeah.
70 now. Like he's old.
70?
Yeah, like he's old.
No way.
Yeah. He said he's like 60 something.
Was he like in his 40s during Friends?
He must have been, yeah.
Guy looked good.
Yeah. But yeah, so he got this question like, do you get people who ever like talk to you like you're Joey? Like what's the biggest trait that's like not actually one of your personality traits that people think you're like that because of
I'm
Joey?
not a fucking idiot.
Exactly. And he's like, yeah, people like think because I played the dumb guy that I'm really dumb, and people come and they're like talking really slow But meanwhile, the fact that you played a dumb guy well just speaks to like your intelligence even more. That you were like able to do a good acting.
As long as you were acting.
Exactly, you're right. You weren't just typecast.
Yeah.
You know, it's another big one from Community. Donald Glover.
Oh yeah.
Because before Homecoming came out, everybody was saying there was that big rumor of Donald Glover was going to play Miles Morales.
He played Miles Morales' uncle. Though.
Yeah, which is super cool, and now they set him up for that. And I think they only chose him because of that big rumor. But I saw a video of him responding to that rumor, and he was like, "Oh, I never like said anything about." I was like, "Oh yeah, maybe I could do Spider-Man like just casually." And then all of a sudden, everybody was like, "He would do it. He's nerdy." Because I can't remember his character's name now. On Community. Yeah. But like they played like the big dumb nerd, you know, so he's like, he's nerdy, he would like it. And that's how he presented it in his stand-up thing. It was really funny.
That whole petition to like bring Miles, like have Miles Morales be the MCU Spider-Man was just like, are you fucking kidding? Like, no way.
I can see them doing it on the PC shit, because that's the whole reason why he exists. That's why
I was like, are you fucking kidding? Because like he's been a character for what 10 years versus the beloved Peter Parker that's universally like the most popular superhero ever, debatably, like him or Batman.
Yeah, and they definitely incorporated that into the storyline of Miles Morales though, because Miles Morales was trained by Peter Parker, wasn't he? And then Peter Parker was killed in his universe.
Because that's Ultimate Universe.
Yeah, it's the Ultimate. So Ultimate Peter Parker died.
Yeah, I don't like that they killed people. That fucking bugs.
You know, another one where he died, which is really cool, is Superior Spider-Man. It's a really cool story
Doc Ock.
universe. Yeah. And then so Doc Ock kills or has this plan to inhabit Spider-Man's body and switch his consciousness and finally defeat him.
On the podcast.
Yeah, we were talking about it off camera. But yeah, and then so Doc Ock like has this plan to defeat Spider-Man by taking over his body, and he succeeds. And he does it, and he succeeds in this. But what he doesn't count for is he takes on Peter Parker's like moral obligations and his experiences.
Like it fucks up a bit, and that's how Peter Parker has that slight chance, and like he like gets all of Peter Parker's memories and experiences.
Exactly. So and his reasons for being a good guy, like Uncle Ben's
it's
death,
a revelation.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Holy shit. And like Parker is just like, you can like whatever you want, you're taking my body, but fuck. Now you know what makes me tick. Like you gotta do this.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I do. But like he does it in like a Doc Ock way, not like
he's like a murdering Spider-Man now. Like,
and it's cool.
He's like an
to see,
anti-hero now.
Because Spider-Man's so strong, and like seeing like Spider-Man like not pull his punches and shit.
And Doc Ock's like Peter Parker's very smart, but Doc Ock is a lot smarter than Peter Parker. Like Peter Parker is like very very smart, but Doc Ock is almost like Iron Man smart.
Well, who wins? Every time, like if he was that smart.
Well, I guess he's also not super powered though. He's just going on the technology.
That's true.
He has another disadvantage. He's insane.
Also,
and I don't know if they do this in the comics, but in the movie they had the arms were like controlling his mind, so he didn't even really have access to his true.
Yeah, they've like
intellect.
delved on that in the comics a little bit. But no, man, Peter Parker's like he's like top 5 smartest people in MCU or not MCU, like Marvel.
Stan Lee said that Tony Stark is the smartest person in the MCU.
But
that might have been a dated thing. It could be Reed Richards.
Yeah, but Reed Richards.
In all of Marvel, not the MCU.
It's Reed Richards. It's always Reed Richards.
Yeah.
And like he has there's I read comics that he like has shown Tony Stark. He has like this room with like this never-ending equation that he uses to predict the future, more or less.
Reed Richards?
Yeah, like
and he invents all those like negative space zones and shit.
Yeah,
and,
the end zone.
The Council of Reeds or whatever. Yeah.
And like he's in the like Illuminati with like Black.
Yeah, he's in the Illuminati. When all of the Earths and the whole multiverse collapse in Secret Wars 15, it's just him who has one of these. He built an inter-universal spaceship. He built a spaceship that can cross universes. Right, and he used that to survive the destruction of all the universes. And
he figured out like that was a thing when he was a kid, like throwing a like toy car through it, and like, but then like he made that like his kind of his life's work, and like it's crazy how like he's one of the heaviest hitters in the MCU.
Oh yeah,
with
sure.
Like Marvel Universe, I keep saying MCU, but
it's just
he's one of the heaviest hitters. With the lamest power.
Yeah, right. Like you got to be real clever to use that power pretty well.
Honestly, it's good.
He does use it well.
The authors that have like done really good runs on the Fantastic Four have all like made his power somehow cool. And like holy shit,
you got to make him do
like,
cool things with it.
You got outside of the box, yeah.
Yeah.
for like because there's a lot of potential being able to like stretch further.
Like the parachute thing, and
Yeah,
like the getting, like in the movie when he put his hand under the door.
Yeah, that
Like,
was cool. That
People
was really
hated
cool
those
in that
movies,
movie.
but I liked
I
them.
like them. They're
I'm
cool.
the opposite of a critic, though. I want to like those movies, you know. Like,
The newest one was
that was
kind of
pretty
undeniably-
bad.
yeah.
I feel like their goal was closer to what the goal should be, but they didn't do it well.
Like it was another thing. Like they did the fucking PC thing. They cast like a black
Mhm.
Johnny Storm
Hmm.
with a white Sue Richards or Sue.
Yeah, did they
Storm.
put that in the Storm? Because they're brother and sister. Did they like incorporate that into the story somehow?
I think he was like an adopted.
Yeah,
brother or
must have
whatever in
been.
the story, which is like okay, whatever.
I feel
But,
like he might have been in like one of the Ultimate Universes or anything, but
like Black.
yeah, yeah.
I don't think so.
No.
He and also
I mean, I get why they do it in the real world, but it's like a lot of times it's you tend to ignore the real qualifications
Like-
just to be the PC thing, you know.
Even in the
It
comics
doesn't-
have like fell
doesn't
victim to
really
that. Like there's like in recent years there's been like female Thor, female
Mhm.
Iron Man. Like
Mhm.
I'm not like
The female
super
Thor
opposed.
was
The
actually
story's
kind of
good.
interesting.
Yeah, apparently the
Yeah.
unworthy Thor storyline.
Yeah,
was
yeah,
awesome.
it was cool.
Uh,
It's something that Thor, when they're fighting Thanos like on the moon, I'm pretty sure it's Thanos and the Watcher's there watching and everything, and Thanos like goes over and whispers something into Thor's ear, and I can't remember what it was. I think he basically, because Thor had like a premonition of all of his friends dying in the future, all the Avengers or something like that, and he was trying to figure out why, and then Thanos came up and was like, "You're the reason why all your friends die," and then he was unworthy
Well,
after
it's like-
that moment, that he couldn't pick up his hammer like after he whispered that thing in
neat.
his ear, and
um,
that's how he defeated Thor.
like getting back to that PC thing. Like they made Iceman gay, and like I'm
Well,
not
and Miles Morales, that
Yeah,
was he's gay, and
see Miles Morales is a good example though. Like well,
yeah,
the right direction. Like if you're gonna do that, like I'm like by all means, like fucking have some gay characters, have some.
yeah. I mean, ultimately, it
female
really
characters,
doesn't
for sure,
matter.
but, like,
It's just you should
fucking-
get the people who are
God damn
going
it,
to do the
make
job
them
right.
Original fucking characters. Don't
Yeah.
take these characters that have already paid their dues and like earned their like make new characters. 'Cause that's
Yeah,
what people
yeah,
want. Like
yeah.
it just seems cheap and like it's such a like cop out. You know.
Mhm. Totally, because then you're not thinking about like who's gonna do a good job. You're just trying to get a guy who fits into this group or this
And
minority
that's
or
when
whatever.
that's when art suffers. That's always
Exactly,
when art suffers.
yeah.
Like in any medium of art. Like
Mhm.
when you're trying to please people just for the sake of pleasing people, it like it
Yeah.
doesn't always
No.
like work out.
And of course, if you're also doing the opposite, like the attitude that gave birth to the whole PC thing, that like, oh, everything you see just happens to be like a bunch of rich white dudes. You know, it's like that can get a little carried away too, and I see where it comes from. You know, but I mean, like the race and the orientation shouldn't be the deciding factor. Your skills and your competence should be what dictate if you fucking get the job. You know,
like even
like if you're good at the job, not if you're a male or a dude, or if you like fucking dick or pussy.
I feel
like
I
if
feel-
you're good
yeah.
at your job.
I feel Black Panther back in the day when he was invented was kind of like same vein
Yeah.
of that. Like
He was
there
the
like-
first black superhero, yeah.
and like it was when like the Black Panthers were like becoming a thing. Like
Oh yeah, and the gang, yeah.
for a
yeah.
while they changed him to Black Leopard, very briefly. And Michael B. Jordan's his Black Panther suit in the
Oh.
movie was like kind of a little Easter egg to
mhm.
that because it had like
Killmonger.
the spots.
He was so good too. That
Man,
was
he
such
fucking
a such a
awesome.
compelling.
I was
villain.
talking to this to Andrew about it last night because he saw it and he loved it.
Oh yeah.
I said
it
I
was
told him
great.
I didn't love it. Like it's probably not my top 5 in the Marvel movies,
Mhm.
but I liked it. I thought it was cool.
I'd probably give it top 5.
Um,
I'd probably give Killmonger like number 1,
one of my
maybe
favorite
number
villains.
2 next to Thanos. And I'd
Ultron
probably
was
give Ronan
kinda
number
cool.
3. Ultron was
made-
cool, but they didn't
They
do
made
it
him
well
too
enough.
funny. They
And,
made him
like-
too like comical. And
Yeah.
I didn't like that because Ultron never makes jokes.
It's too
'cause he's a
sarcastic.
goddamn fucking
Well, in the
robot,
comic
like-
books, the Ultron storyline starts in the apocalypse. Like it starts off when Tony Stark invents Ultron, then it does a time skip to
Well,
Ultron rules the
in the
fucking
comics,
world.
fucking Hank Pym invents Ultron. It's not
Yeah.
even Tony Stark.
Oh
And,
yeah,
like,
yeah, right. That's right. That's right.
That's another thing that's like.
I
kinda
knew
like
that,
bugging
and then
me, how
in the
there's,
movie, like, made
Hank
me
Pym
forget.
is like one of the OG Avengers,
Oh yeah.
and like he's never really like he's in like he's played by Michael Douglas in
Mhm.
Ant-Man, but like he's played like he's old Hank Pym. Like
They
that was
at
a
least
weird
they
thing
it was
to me.
kind of the only way I feel they kind of compensated for it using Scott Lang, who like came much later.
Scott Lang's cool. I like
Yeah, he's
him.
cool. And Paul Rudd was like, I was hesitant about Paul Rudd because he's kind of a goof, but like it was good casting for that character.
Also, Hank Pym was
yeah.
a fucking psycho.
But they
and a
portrayed
piece of
him
shit.
being Ant-Man for a long time, though. They were like, okay, Hank Pym was around as Ant-Man during that time. We just didn't really see him, you know?
Yeah. That was one of the cooler things.
And he wasn't like an Avenger.
Like back in the day, like Marvel Comics, like they also like they touched a lot on like social issues with like the X-Men. Like that was always like a race, like it was like a mirroring of how society views minorities and stuff.
That's true. Yeah.
Like Stanley like created the X-Men specifically. for that
Largely,
reason.
comic book history has been largely dictated by like the social shit that was happening at that time,
Like,
and like
they've been-
Wonder Woman with like women's rights revolution and
That's
stuff.
awesome. Wonder
Who
Woman's
it was
fucking
great
the
at the
best
time, but like
female
now
superhero.
feminists hate Wonder Woman, right? Because
But, like,
she's
That's
like
stupid.
I mean, I kind of get it. It's because it kind of creates an unrealistic image for little girls who are like trying to live up to that, and I get that. And it's
But,
like
the whole
in
Wonder Woman
London,
thing is like girls can kick ass too.
Well,
It's, like, the message
exactly.
I always got
but then
by
a girl, a little young girl sees somebody like Wonder Woman who's like, you know, unrealistically shaped, let's say.
Yeah,
and,
because
you know,
like every other fucking comic book character
Well,
ever,
and
like
that's
all the
the
features are
problem
always
that they say,
exaggerated
yeah.
to make them like
exactly.
because that's comic book
Well,
art.
yeah, and
It's, like,
dudes too. Like
yeah,
they're
like-
skinny waist and huge shoulders.
there's
Like
like huge junk.
Yeah,
always,
yeah,
and,
exactly.
like, yeah, like it's like
women take shit, but guys take a lot of fucking shit too. That's something that I hope gets a little more light. And I think everybody knows because the women's thing is very popular, and I'm not against it. Obviously, it's weird to even say that, of course. But
especially on podcasts.
But you know, men take some shit. Men take some shit too. I mean, it's okay though. I'm not trying to like specialize.
Well, I was always like, well, there's always like the body shaming like for fat people and stuff. But, like I was always like a really skinny kid growing up, and I always
Me
got
too,
like
I
ripped
just-
on for being super
Yeah.
skinny. Like I never really like till I like grew up, and I was like, you know, that like really wasn't okay either though. Like that's
Mhm.
fucked up.
Mhm.
Like people make fun of me being skinny, like that. Like it got in my head a little
Yeah.
bit as a kid.
That'll
like,
do
kinda,
some
like,
damage
yeah.
for sure.
I mean, like whatever. Like it's fucking.
I mean, everybody
like-
has some damage.
I got to the point that I was just like, I'm gonna fuck what anybody thinks.
That's
like,
what you
do,
gotta
you
do.
man. Like
That's the thing. You know, you do you, I'll do me, and everybody
if
does
you aren't
everybody.
disturbing each other, like what's the
Yeah.
problem?
You know, the
You're
problem-
free as long as you don't impede other people's
when you
freedom.
guys were talking about like people discriminating against or like giving preferential
Yes,
treatment, preferential treatment. It's there a little bit.
Yeah,
today,
yeah.
not much. But to minorities or of whatever type, sexuality based on sexuality or race. I don't want to say anything too bad here, but if just imagine, this is what I always come back to is like the kind of thing that just shatters that whole illusion for me is like, so what if we were to go out, because that's a fact that is happening now, that people are getting chosen based on, you know,
Man,
That's
the
fucked.
prime minister of our
Right?
country chose his cabinet based on 50% men and
Right.
women, not on their qualifications.
So if it was the reverse, and if we were going around doing that for white people, saying that, you know, okay, you can't come out and say, well, I'm just going to hire whites for this job. 10
Are
white
you
men.
kidding?
You know,
You'd be
so
ostracized.
why can you do
Yeah.
that?
Like
For
like
anybody.
the cast of Black Panther is like
That's not
Well,
a black
exactly.
cast,
I
that's
see your
not-
point, though. That's
yeah.
exactly. It should be based on your competence,
Yes.
on your skills, and
Yes.
your qualifications, not
Especially
your
in a
fucking
government
sexual
position.
preference or your gender or your race or any of that shit. That has nothing to do with
No.
how you do your fucking job.
No.
However, I did think when he did that, and like a reporter asked him, like, so I know it's like, why did you do 50% women, 50% men? He like had the mic drop response, just like, because it's 2016.
Exactly. I
was
heard
like,
Jordan Peterson
oh,
actually
great
comment on that.
Ooh, what do you do?
I saw
like,
I saw a video of Jordan Peterson
That was like
commenting
that's
on
a
that.
that was
non-answer.
so good for his PR.
Yeah, not really though. But think about
Oh, that
it.
people love.
Well,
that
for anybody
shit.
who doesn't know about politics, it's great,
Yeah.
which is most people. But anybody who
I
knows
don't
that,
shit
like,
about it,
that's
yeah.
you have to choose
That's
your
a side
cabinet
step.
is an incredibly detailed process.
Right.
You have to go into the detailed background of each and every single individual that you're planning on hiring for the specific job and see how they. It's like Trump's fucking minister of education. Have you seen this dumb bitch? She
man,
doesn't fucking know shit about education.
I try to avoid.
I mean,
all
yeah,
that
I
Trump
do
shit,
too,
'cause
but
it's just,
I've
like,
only
it's a
seen her once or
headache,
twice. But man, that like America's minister of education right now, like, is a
I've seen
dumbass.
some clips. I've seen some clips
Like,
that
wow.
are like this is real life. Like
Yeah, like
this-
you couldn't make that shit up.
Yeah, like and that's kind of like I do kind of follow some Trump stuff because it's like
entertaining.
it's
You can't
so
avoid it.
entertaining.
You can't even
Jeez.
avoid it, man.
But like at the same time, it's scary.
It's
'Cause, like,
terrifying.
Like bottom line, this guy. Well, no,
This guy
everybody
might
says,
light
like,
a third of the world on fire.
Everybody seems to think like he can press a button and like nukes go off. But like he
He
needs
kinda can.
approval. Like there's like a board.
Yeah,
that
but
has
he
to,
can
like,
do an executive order though.
I don't
he
think
could.
I don't think he can nuke the world just on a whim, like because he's
No,
having
but
a
if-
bad day.
I think it has something
I
to
think there's
do.
a bit
I don't
more
know the
to it.
legislation, but like right now, the thing with him in Russia is he's because the dictator of Syria is bombing his own people, and he's saying he's going to bomb the
Didn't he
dictator.
bomb the shit out of people recently?
Yeah, they keep. Well, yeah, like that
Yeah,
was
he
one of his
dropped, like,
first,
a
the
bunch
mother of all nukes.
Like,
they
like,
called it. You know,
a few week like a week or two ago, he like bombed the fuck out of somebody.
it's funny how like we can be outraged by something that we like don't actually know very much about. You know.
That's why like I kind of like avoid it because
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I don't know enough about politics to really get riled
Me
up.
neither. Yeah.
And
But
the
we
world
do,
is-
though.
I know that guy
You
is
blame it
like,
all on one guy.
I know
is kinda
people-
silly, too.
Yeah.
That's true. It's true.
I know people, and I see Donald Trump, and I'm just like, that guy's a piece of shit. Like, he's an undeniable piece of fucking shit. But, like, that's pretty much all I know.
Mhm,
Like,
right?
Guy sucks.
But there's
Yeah.
a lot of piece of shits out there.
But, guy, I've also read, like, he's getting some results. Like, he's doing stuff,
Yeah.
like, for their economy and stuff. Like, he's fucking,
Yeah.
he's bringing a lot of jobs to the States. Reopening factories in the States and, like, closing down China.
Yeah, but reopening like coal and oil factories and shit. And
yeah, but, like,
creating
I mean,
jobs
he's
but destroying
creating
the
jobs.
planet.
Oh yeah,
Ugh.
no, yeah, that getting back to
Right,
being
yeah,
a piece of shit. Like,
Exactly.
money.
And I mean, it's all
Future,
perspective. Like he couldn't have won the election if
No one voted for the guy.
Yeah.
Obviously,
That
some
okay,
people agree with him.
Donald
I
Trump
mean,
being president is the biggest backlash of that PC bullshit that has been like going on. For
totally,
the last
it's a
years. And
counterculture
it was, like,
against
it was
PC.
boiling,
PC.
and people were just getting sick of it, and like, because like a lot of those PC people will like they'll just get in your fucking face and piss you off. And,
Yeah,
like,
just for like saying your opinion about something.
yeah, and like
Yeah.
it was just like shut the fuck up. And like I feel a lot of people that would have normally maybe not even voted were like, no, these guys pissed me off. Like because being
Yeah.
mad is
They
the
do a
greatest
Trump vote like
motivator
just to
do
spite
something.
this
Yeah.
dude, you know?
Like,
yeah.
I feel so he got a lot of votes
Mhm.
from that.
A lot of spite
It's like
votes.
fuck these PC pussies. Like and like it
that-
sounds bad.
that's a part of it. Also, people are not
I mean,
Also,
yeah,
so bright,
also,
man. There's not
if he was
like,
no.
if he was going up against anybody but like Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, it was.
like,
there was
it-
no good option
like,
there.
yeah.
I mean, he probably is the better option out of those two, to be honest.
That's what a lot of people think too.
Because he's at least ignorant. She was like consciously malevolent, you know?
Yeah, she was like an
Yeah.
evil.
Yeah,
they're both
he's an
pretty
idiot.
fucking
She was evil.
Yeah.
I feel he's very evil too. Like, there's all those stories.
I think
of
he's
just,
too
like,
stupid
not
to be
paying his
evil,
Yeah, I
waiters
kind
and
of think
shit.
that too. Like,
Yeah.
it's a really
I
good,
think
it's a really
honestly-
good saying. You know, you shouldn't attribute anything to hatred that belongs to be attributed to ignorance. You know, people are a lot more stupid than they are evil.
But yeah, that's a good call. Like, I feel like he might be too stupid.
Yeah.
to be evil. But like, I don't know, man.
He's
not
pretty
like this
smart, like, as far as it
diabolical-
comes
he's
to
not
business.
This diabolical
No, he's
villain,
not.
man.
yeah, he's
he
not like
means
a criminal
well.
mastermind.
Yeah.
but like,
He
I
just
don't know,
doesn't
man.
fucking know what he's doing as a
No.
politician.
He won the presidential election. Like, any way you slice it, that
That
sounds
was a
smart
business
to me.
thing, though. I
Like,
mean, it's
yeah, that's
it's
marketing.
purely a business
Marketing,
plan and
man,
marketing,
and
and
that's
yeah,
his specialty.
exactly.
Like,
and he's got the money to hire lots of people who know what they're doing. That he's, you know.
Yeah, like,
I mean,
he pays
we're
people to
fucking
think for
Canadian
him.
too. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you talk to Americans and they're just like, "Can we not?" Because that's actually like really scary. Can we just not talk about that?
I haven't been to the States since Trump has become president. And like, I remember when he became president, I remember people like crying. I remember people
Yeah.
in Canada
Oh.
crying.
In Canada,
and, like, I
yeah.
can't go to the States now. And it's like, shut the fuck up. Like, nothing's gonna be
Yeah.
different for a tourist in the States. Like, are you kidding?
Mhm.
Unless you're trying to come in from Mexico, maybe.
Yeah,
Like,
a tourist from Canada.
Yeah.
Anywhere else, good luck. But
he like did you guys I know it's like I know Justin Trudeau, like, he's also kind of an idiot, I guess. Once again, I don't know
yeah,
much
he's
about politics.
just not very
like,
experienced.
Nice hair though.
Yeah, he's fucking sexy, isn't he? Jesus.
But like, there's just like, he's a cool guy.
Right?
Like that's what I like about him.
He's like
'cause
a
I don't
millennial
follow politics
president,
enough. Like before he boxed somebody in Parliament years ago.
And he got punched out.
No, he punched the guy out. He whooped the guy's
Really?
ass.
I saw a video circulating. I didn't
Trudeau,
see the
grew
whole
up
thing,
boxing. He also has a tattoo. That's cool.
but I definitely saw a short clip of a video of Trudeau boxing a dude and like getting
Right.
punched in the face.
Oh, he
Good.
probably got punched a bit, but like, yeah,
Yeah.
he whooped the guy's
Interesting.
ass, though. Like, dominant performance.
Probably learned from Vidal.
Spot on. Trudeau. But what was the other one? The first time he met Trump, and like, Trump has like this thing when he shakes people's hands that he like pulls you in and like it's
yeah,
like a
his power
dominance thing.
handshake. Yeah,
And like Trudeau just shut him down on it.
I remember that he wouldn't.
Like,
I remember that when
and it was like
let,
almost a tug of war.
Yeah,
It's
it was
like
great.
Trudeau is in much better shape than him. Like
Yeah.
like much younger and stronger. Like just didn't have.
That's
any of it.
the real problem.
I bet you anything he got briefed on that and shit.
On the
too.
handshake,
Like,
yeah.
I bet that was like
he
a
probably
thing.
knew about it.
Like he
going
had
in.
people like
he was
hyping up,
prepared
like,
for it.
Don't let him do it. Don't
He's
let
gonna
him do
make
it.
you
You're
look
gonna
like an
Canada
idiot on
weaker.
camera.
Yeah.
yeah.
He's
That's
like,
hilarious.
I could do that just well by myself. Like I'm doing enough.
If
to make
your
myself look like
handshake
an idiot on
sucks to
camera,
begin
like-
with, then I learned
Yeah.
how to do a good handshake like in school. Like I remember having a handshake lesson from teachers. Like you need to like touch the webbing of your hands and like get good. Like you can lose a job from like a shitty handshake, like. And then whenever you get these dudes who are just like,
limp hand.
yeah,
The-
and
the
and you're
dead
just like
fish
crushing
handshake.
their fingers when you shake their hand. Ugh.
There is like I've shook people's hands
It's
before.
too
they're
hard.
Like much.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Just like, can you not try
Crush
and
my
break
hand?
my
Yeah,
hand,
yeah.
please? Like I get the firm hand. Like I give a pretty.
You
firm
got it. Yeah,
handshake,
me too.
But like,
It's
but,
not
like,
aggressive.
I've had people just like squeeze
Yeah.
my hand, like almost like crack my knuckles and shit. Like man, chill. Like
I've seen two kinds of
we
these.
just met.
Two kinds of the too hard handshake. The one is like, okay, like you're saying the dude's just like a meathead and he's just like really strong, goes to the gym a lot, he's just an intense dude, he'll crush your hand. The other one is the one you don't want, where it's like a drunken like asshole who's like this dude who like needs to like actually try and like assert
Like, he's
his
got something to prove.
intimidation.
Yeah.
Like right when you meet him and he's like shaking you and like staring you down and like, he like won't let go
like-
of your hand and shit.
I don't
hate that
play
asshole.
I don't
No.
like that.
wanna
Always for
box,
whatever reason
like-
irks me. And like I like don't like I do it
No,
right back.
no,
to him,
exactly.
and it's like,
If- and that's what you got to do.
Are we doing this?
And
Like-
most of the time, when a person is like that, like it's out of insecurity. And if a person
Yeah.
needs to like go out of their way to try and intimidate somebody they just met, that means you're a bitch.
small
and like,
man syndrome.
yeah, exactly, right? Ah, fuck.
Like,
That's a Trump thing, the small man syndrome. Goddamn,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
like, you think I can't nuke you? I'll show you how much I can fucking nuke
and like
you.
him and fucking Kim Jong like going back and forth.
Yeah, just a dick
It's
shaking
like,
contest.
Yeah.
God damn it. Well, I'm about ready to shake my dick here with this here episode. So
Yeah, man.
thanks for joining me, guys. And
Oh, thanks for having
all
us.
the good
Yeah,
luck
no, thanks for
on
having
to
us.
the
Thanks for the
Love
hot
Tongues
dogs.
dinner.
Thanks for the wine.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Dinner,
we're
some
the
wine,
left
thank you.
tongues.
Yep. Check
But
them out live.
Two
Winnipeg.
out of 5 left tongues at least.
What's your single that just came out?
It's hard. It'll be probably by the time you release this, it'll be on Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
Check it out.
Great. Excellent. Cool, guys. Thanks.
Cool, man. Yeah, thanks for having us again, man. Blast.
Excuse me.